All right, today's Thursday, 13th of April. So let's take a look at yesterday. This is gold. I marked in the levels. I said if the market pulls back into here or this zone where it took off the day before, where it took off in the Asia session, I said you could go long. Market comes down here. It's astro hour. Astro hours. Look at that. And then goes up, as you can see. All right, so what to do with gold? Let's take a look. Market's still heading up. We're in between levels, all right? So we need to probably reach somewhere. We've got a breakout. So what do we want to do? We want to go long. This is why I said yesterday, if it comes back, you need to go long because the market made a higher high. So buying is the option. So if you bought here, that was good. That was good, as you can see. You bought here at the astro hour. These are the price levels. See this purple shaded zone? You would have been okay too. So we're going to do the same thing again. We want to go up. So if the market comes back down, we want to be pushing up. Where to? Daily pivot is good. This is the low of Asia. So the opening, this zone is good. Let me get rid of this. Let's first put in the astro hours, shall we? Let's do that. All right, so here it is. Okay, so these are the astro hours. Now, despite the fact that these are astro hours, we've got disruption. So we're probably going to have breakouts today. Okay, and when they happen, if the market comes back down, which it may or may not do, let's say this is gold. All right, let's take a look at the daily. Now with gold, we've got a target at 70, which is 2047. Okay, so this going up to 2047 is there. Okay, so this is probably going to break out, okay, because we've got aspects there that show disruption. So the flow is going to be kind of like making a higher high. So let me check out the weekly here as well. As you know, we broke out here. So this should be pulling up. This should be pushing up. We should probably go higher, okay? And that should get us, yeah, same here, nice and easy, okay? So we should be going up to this high level again, okay? Now it'll be interesting to see because we'll be coming up into there if it does, if according to what I read in the sky is correct, then we're coming into a Mercury retrograde this month, so it should take us to a place where we should hit, okay? So if you bought here and if you utilized Swing Monday, I said this was the level where, I said Monday was a swing day and I said this was a level. Market came down. This was astro hours, as you know, and the market moved up. So if you're in the market still and if you're adding positions, this should go upwards into that direction and it should flow all the way. I don't see anything stopping this until the end of the day, really. Once it starts going, it should be there. What you got to look out for is the US session. All right. In the US session, because if there's a breakout, like it should break out, okay, and yeah, then you got that 6 o'clock zone here. In fact, what we need to do is that's 5:15. I've got to put a 6:30 here. All right, and this zone here is, so that's going to be like that. Plus we've got this zone here. All right, so yeah, if the market pulls back in to our astro hours, to the daily, okay, to the place, yeah, back to the daily, back to the opening, it's good. I can now get rid of this, okay, and that's it. Euro dollar. Now with the euro dollar, we're up here into that level I talked about, 67, 1.1019. There you go. All right, so we've got that level. Market came down into this astro hour, as you can see. We're heading in there. So this is the zone where we've got to be careful. The market's up here, and it should, with the euro dollar, I'm expecting a pullback, guys. This is a nice breakout on the price. 53 is 1.1007. On the daily, I've got 1019. Okay, so I've got 1007, 1019, which is there. So this zone here. Okay, 1007, 1019. So this is the zone. Let's mark it in. All right, this is on the monthly and on the daily. So this is going to be a sell zone, but just be mindful because of this disruptive move happening. Okay. With this, you might also want to wait for that 515, 620 zone. All right, because we're going to have some action jacks in here. This time zone is not a bad spot either. This level is not a bad spot either. Okay, and we've got a gap to fill here. I can now get rid of this. That's been done here, as you can see. I'll get rid of that, as you can see. All right, so this zone is like kind of okay to sell if the market comes up into this zone, but just be mindful. Just be mindful until New York, because yeah, we've got one of the bad boys in action. All right, so that's that. So we could have a breakout. Okay, if it pulls back, it's okay to go long. Okay, it's like we could head up into that 72 zone there with the euro dollar, 1.1102, and I'm going to get rid of this. I'm going to do this 1102. All right, there, 1.11. So, you know, market going up and then pulling back to go up is also an option, and that's also doable. So be a bit smart here. US 30, that was nice. We talked about setting that off. Okay, it was pretty much at the tops there. Tuesday was the day I said be careful for Tuesday. That really came in on a Wednesday, as you can see, that big push down right into the Astro hours. So if you sold again when it pulled up, that would have been okay. Let's see what that hour was. 21:15. Let me just check that for you. 21:15, didn't have anything there, but let's take a look. I'm curious. All right, that beats me. Okay, I didn't have that, but that's, as you can see, we're looking to sell it. So after the sudden movement in the news, once again, if you bought here as well, you wouldn't have made a loss. Obviously, look at that. It's a big push up all the way in there. And if you know technical analysis, guys, you would have thought about this. You would have said, well, wait a minute, we have a big drop here going and breaking the low of Asia and closing below it. So it's only obvious that there's risk of selling here, and the market did. So this zone here, again, this is not a bad spot to be selling. Okay, not bad at all. I do it with a smaller lot size. If you take a look at the daily, whoopsie daisy. If you take a look at the daily, you see once again it's done that top there. So 69, if you want a price on it, 69.70, 33.837, 33.837 is about there. This is a possibility. Okay, and that's also okay because now it's this bar here, and then I can take this in. All right, pretty much there. And you need to take that high for the stop loss. But this is also the daily pivot. There's a bit of a gap here. All right, so it could do that, push up, and then sell off again. So a bit of a disruption. You need to be carefully, like I said, until New York session. All right, so be careful. If it comes back down into the Astro hours, do you want to go? Do you want to go long? Is a question. I've got 58 for you. 34.159. 34.159 is up there. So I'm not quite sure. I'm not going to get rid of this. We don't have that. And this is on the monthly. 54. 34,011. 34. Okay, so no wonder I had that up there. Sorry. 34,011 is there. Okay, so there's still a bit of a risk. Okay, the market could push up or whatever. So, question mark. Okay, just be smart about it. Oops. Yeah, just be smart about it. If you're going to sell here, do it with a smaller lot size. Also here, if you're going to sell, do it in the US session. Because once this starts moving in a direction, it's going to go until that 10 o'clock zone. Okay, which I've got here. So once it starts its direction, it should flow into there. Okay, pretty much into this zone, this time zone. And that's where the buck's going to stop. Okay, so for all of them. Okay, I hope that helps. Let's take a look at NASDAQ, Bitcoin, and SP 500. Okay. Alright, so let's do this now. Let's get to SP 500. This is SP 500. Now I talked about these levels, so if you marked in your Astro hours, you see that was the zone there. Okay, nicely tapping in. And I talked about a swing happening in Asia as well yesterday. So if you're in the members zone, let's log in there. Nope. If you're in the members zone yesterday, you would have seen the hours, obviously, and the levels. Okay, so all you have to do is mark your hours in, basically. Okay, if you did that, well done. Let's see what that was. That 9:15 we didn't have. This one we did have. Okay, so if you've gone long there, because I marked them in, this, the blue, the brown level, the white level, this level here. So these are all levels you could have gone in at Astro hours. So that was off yesterday. Also, let's see. April 12th. Let's see there. Okay, that was it there. Okay, Asia opening can give good swing as well. That was about 2 a.m. to 2:25, and also the Asia morning. So if you were up and running, that's 2:25 there. Okay, so 2:10 is around there. That's 10 past 2 bar there, and dips into there again like once and goes up. So that's all good. So this is now a resistance. This is, look, as you can see, it's an Astro hour right there happening. Okay, let's get rid of this as well. Now this hasn't broken the low off that level there, so I can just delete that. Let's take a look at the daily where we're at. So nice dip, we can pull back into this zone, making a higher high here. So we should essentially, or eventually, let's say, come back here, right? We just have to look for a good place to sell it off, and that looks like that zone there, which is looking like the 58, 59, 60. So 4,150, 66, 93. 4,150, 66, and 90. So there is a bit of room to go there, as you can see, and that could take us into Friday as well, but only if it breaks above this. Look, there's a gap here, so the market coming back into this zone to sell again is an option. If we come back up, you can sell it off. It's not a problem. In fact, now it's filled that gap. Okay, so what's going to be the issue here? We're going to depend on the New York session as well. Okay, because it's pretty much covered that in. Okay, so let me get rid of this. If you're trading the SP 500 in the US session, look for these high levels here to sell off. If it starts to push up, don't stand in front of it. If it breaks out, like I said, it's probably going to go somewhere until the end of the day. So just like it fell like this until the end of the day, or see, the end of the day is there, right? It kept flowing into that direction. If it starts moving in a direction, if it's up, it'll keep going. If it's down, it'll keep going. So the important thing is what? At Astro hours, if we're here somewhere on the weekly, daily, the yellow line here, and you want to sell it off in the New York session, you can. If it's down here and you want to buy it in the New York session, you also can. Okay, and then it should flow until the end of the day. Let me just check out Asia, what we got in the opening. Nothing in the opening, so it should stop there and then it should just stabilize. Nasdaq, let's take a look at the daily. Nasdaq, beautiful fall yesterday. Okay, anticipating all that. That was the level. If you sold it there at a technical level, you were laughing. 330, as you know, that was what did we have? We didn't have 330 as a technical hour. What we did have 435, and that's your 435 bar there, 430 bar. All right, so you could have sold off there as well. That's the opening, 430. Boom, coming all the way down, and then going all the way into this zone here. Look how they bought here as well. Again, I marked this level in for you. That was a PST level as well. Market shoots up and then they sell off again. So this is really good. Nasdaq is giving us a heads up. It's a good buy kiss there. This is not a bad place to sell off either. It's a good buy kiss level. Nasdaq right there. What do you got to look out for? HCL1 12750. That's going to be a target. So let's move this into, let's put a target into 12750, because we should go into 12750. All right, so if it falls, we should go there. If it goes up at Astro hours, sell it down. Okay, like I said the other day, it should pop down in here. We should get in there, right? And then you got 41 lower than that, and that's going to be 12,622. So 12,622. So move it up there. So you got to have a vision of where you're going. You see, that's why we've got PST levels like this. If you understand, you got a target. Whoops. And then the market gets there. If it was an Astro hour, that would have been like awesome. And then bang down, boom, boom. This was an Astro hour here. So 435, you could have sold off. It was still right at the top there. Okay. If I turn this into a 5-minute chart, you'll see what I mean. Just give me a second here. Heads up. Is right there. And that's when the whole thing just boom, emptied itself out. Okay. And that's basically it. But you see, once it gets to a PST level, it's a big push up. They're going to want to fill it in, and they fill it in nicely. Comes back all the way here, pushes up, and then, game is over basically. All right, so that's that. Let's take a look at Bitcoin. With Bitcoin as well, guys, the trend is up, obviously, right? We're going up into that direction, nice and easy. You want to buy in the lows. Will we make higher highs? Yeah, it's a good, strong trend, but buy at the lows. If you're going to trade it, then you can trade it when it pulls back to go up at these levels. Why? Because that's where the market broke out. So comes back, goes back up again. Here you can see where that level is. The system shows you, right? So if I do this, let me just show you here. If you're using the 80 AM strategy, and if you want to go long on something, let it come back to your LCL ones, 29141, 28046, 54 there, 28691. See that line, HCL19, those are the levels to go long at Astro hours. And you can see why that makes sense. This is where the whole thing happened. And this is where the demand all happens. So this thing is going to go up, okay, and that's fine. Okay, so if you're going to buy and hold, you could wait for the lower levels because it needs to fill in gaps here as well. If you're going to trade it, that's going to be a level. Do it on a PST level. Let it wait for the pullback and then go long. Okay, never buy at the tops, never sell at the lows.